going on, boys and girls? I got a request to talk a little bit in my video, so figure why not, I'll give it a try. This year sucked on snow. We really haven't got much at all, so I haven't been able to make as many videos as I wish I could have. I was hoping we would have got hit by the blizzard in the Hudson Valley area, so I was really hoping could have got some good footage from that, but sadly it missed us. I'd say we would be lucky if we got 4 inches from that storm, which is a big miss in my book. I wish I had the weather. Ben's job, that's for sure. I did get a lot of requests on how the truck handles this V-plow, since this is the regular cab short bed. And you know, I must say that I haven't had any issues with the truck at all in this form. It gets the job done. Just take it easy, you know, respect it, and it's going to respect you. A lot of people that look to get into snow plowing, well, my advice to you is start with something that you don't really care about vehicle-wise in case you hit something. You know, take it easy. You definitely want to learn or plow an area that you know well. So if you're going to start trying to do plowing for a business or something, I'd recommend starting at friends and family houses so you get the hang of it. You know, it's just like anything else, practice makes perfect. You're not in a race, you know, you're gonna get the job done. A lot of people fly in and out and beat the truck and beat the plow. If you're going too fast, you don't know what's under the snow. So if you're going too fast and you hit a curb or you hit one of those parking spot blocks, you know, what's gonna happen is inside the plow there's pressure relief valves on the wings on each side. And if you hit something, the pressure release valve will open up and allow the fluid to go back in, so the plow will turn. But if you hit something going too fast, those valves don't have enough time to react, so you're gonna break a line, you're gonna break a cylinder, worse, you're gonna bend one. Those are all bad things. You definitely don't want to break a hose out there because, you know, yeah, it's easy to fix, it's not that big of a deal, but you got to get back to the shop to do it, and you're gonna get a ton of grease over everything, you know. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I was saying, if you're going too fast and you hit something, you know, you're gonna hurt the truck, you're gonna break a hose on the truck, on the plow. If you break a line on the plow, well, you're out of commission. You know, you're gonna have to go back, replace what you broke, and you know what? Who's gonna take care of the houses that you said that, or the lots that you said you were gonna clean? Oh, then you're gonna have to have someone else come in and take care of those. So you know what? You're better off just taking your time. Another item I would say, you don't want a huge vehicle, you know? That's the biggest problem I see. Everybody gets a huge truck. They put a huge plow on that truck. You know, that's fine and dandy if you're gonna be doing a mall parking lot, you know, or you have a huge area to take care of. But if you're taking care of a small lot like I am, you know what? If you're taking care of some driveways, you know, the big truck's gonna be your enemy. I can't swing around these cars if I had a big truck. I mean, it's hard enough, let alone in this truck. And this is, like I said, a short bed, regular cab truck. Don't get much smaller than this unless you have a Jeep. And, you know, a Jeep would be good too if, you know, if you could do that, that would be great. It just looks like I'm making a mess right now, but, you know, you got a plan. I got over on the side, I know you can't see it. I know you can't see it, but I'll show you right now. You see these 2 cars down here, these 2 gray ones. Well, they're in the worst spot for me because I would plow normally and push all my snow in that corner. But I can't do that right now because they're in my way. and I don't know whose they are. This is one of the biggest issues plowing a public lot like this, you know. It's not public, but off hours, I should say. Everybody seems to park down in here. There's no parking in the area I am right now, so you get stuck here. So you got to plan a little bit, which is all right. I mean, it adds for something new all the time, which is good and bad at the same time. I'll get back to why I said doing friends' houses, you know, your family houses. The reason you want to start there is, number one, you got to learn your truck, you got to learn the plow. You got to see how it's going to react if you know, when you plow. That's the biggest thing. You definitely don't want to be plowing somebody's yard you don't know, or an area you don't know, and ripping up their lawn, hitting their shrubs. You know, that's bad. And you know, well, you're gonna lose a customer if you do that. You know, come on, think about it. Would you have someone plowing your yard, you know, plowing your driveway, and every year they come in and they rip up half your yard? You know, not only is that bad for you, but it looks bad. You know, you're gonna have to go back, spend more money and time to fix whatever you heard. So now say you got $20 a driveway, well, you got to go back and fix their yard. How long is it going to take you to smooth it out? How long is it going to take you to spread seed? You know, now you're already priced low enough that you're just barely making any money. You're going to hurt yourself big time. And that's not worth it for anybody. There's no benefit to anybody. Now this truck also has the 4.8 liter V8, not the 5.3, and you know, I thought the truck was going to be very underpowered, but you know, I haven't experienced, I should say, I haven't ever wanted more power than what this truck puts out. You know, this is a nice fluffy light snow with a little bit of a mix of sleet in it, but even when it's real heavy, with the V-plow, it makes it a lot easier because, number one, I can make an opening if I want. I can just come through in the V form, which, you know, to be honest with you, I've only used a handful of times in the V format. But what I wanted the V-plow for was the scooping feature. I couldn't, when I would plow this lot, it's on a little bit of an angle towards the cars, and you know, it's long enough that you can get enough snow to roll off the side of the plow. And what would happen is, because it's on a little bit of a slant, I would always have to put snow underneath one side of the road. I would always have to put snow underneath the front of the car or the back of the car, and people would always get stuck. So with the V, I can do the reverse and use it as a scoop. So, you know, I get the majority of the snow and I keep plowing it towards the center of the opening, and then I just do the reversed V, and I can take the snow away and I never have to put it underneath the car. Right now I'm not using the V because this is there's quite a bit of snow out here, so I'd rather it spill off the edge a little bit. But I love the V-plow. It did take, there was definitely a learning curve with it, because there's a lot more buttons on there. I went from the joystick controller on the dash to the handheld unit, and you know, this is now, let me see, I want to say it's maybe 4 years. I think it's 4 or 5 years that no, it can't be that many years. Maybe it's been 3 or 4. Maybe it's been 3 or 4 years that I've had this, and I'm just getting the hang of it this year. I feel like I can really use this hand controller. You know, I'm not catching myself looking at it all the time to see if I want to just move one wing, which way do I want it to move. I'm not, you know, I can just do it by feel of the remote, which, thank God, you know. Just that split second of looking down to see what button takes up time. I mean, you want to be consistent. You want to. I always try to put the snow in one spot. I know where I like it. Try to be considerate and make it so that when the snow starts melting, the snow's not running down the hill, and you got to walk in it every day when you go into the office here. You know, not only does it look bad when it's all up in the front of the building, but you gotta track that into the building every day, and you know, you're gonna be cleaning up all the salt, you're gonna be cleaning the snow, make it slippery on the inside. That's no good. So you want to think it through a little bit where you're gonna put it. They always say never, you know, like when you do driveways, you never want to plow in. You never want to push the snow inside the driveway, but you know, 9 times out of 10, you got no choice to push it in unless you're plowing your own driveway, and then you can plow your way out when you go out. And then, you know what, I take care of my driveway last. Family, you know, your driveway, whatever you're gonna do, you always want to take care after the storm. You don't want to, you know, you're doing them a favor by doing it unless you're charging them. If you're charging them, then they're a customer. You're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart, because you know they're paying for a service, and you're gonna do the best job you possibly can. I happen to really enjoy plowing. I don't think it's for everybody. You'd be surprised how tired you get doing it. You know, you don't realize how you're always alert. You're constantly looking around. You know, you want to make sure that there's nobody around you. And believe it or not, it's really tiring. You know, I couldn't believe it. You'd be surprised how tired you get doing this. As you can see, I'm still using this V-plow in the reversed V, and you know, you get to scoop a lot of snow, and you're not wasting it. It's not rolling off the blade. I mean, you're gonna still get some, you know. Obviously, if you fill the V up, you're gonna have some overfill, or overflow, I should say. But just makes the job go by a lot faster. I've been seeing a lot more V-plows recently too. A lot of people, I don't know if they're making them more affordable, or people see the advantages to using the V-plow over a straight blade. But I do feel that I see them a lot more. I could be looking for them too. When you have the plow in the V form and you're driving down the road, you know, it looks pretty cool, but you know, the benefit too is you don't have that huge drag of the plow, of the straight blade plow on the front of the truck, because the air, you're just splitting the air past the truck. You're not pushing the air around. So when you're driving around with the plow like that, you know, I know the weight's there. I can feel the weight on the front of the truck, but I don't feel the drag. It doesn't, when you're driving down the road with a straight blade, and even if you have an angle to one side, you can feel it push the truck. You're pushing the truck a certain way. You know, if you have, you know, angle to the right side, well, then the wind will blow you to the left, you know. And you don't feel that when it's in the V form at all. It's nice. I'm gonna be quiet for a little while. I'd like to expand my channel a little bit. I'd like to know what you guys like looking at or watching. I mean, I started with the snowplow videos because I know that when I find myself on YouTube, I like looking at snowplow videos. I like working on cars. I do a little bit of everything. I like fixing things. Thought about doing some how-to videos, but you know, there's just so many videos, and honestly, it's so time consuming. I don't know if you looked at some of the other videos I had. I bought an RV. I had a 1983 Sunline Toyota RV I bought, and I plan on restoring it. And I shouldn't say restoring it, because I'm not going to restore it. I was planning on renovating it for my needs, and I did start, and I haven't made an updated video on it. I did do a lot to the inside. We painted, me and my better half, we painted the inside. You know, I put a pure sine wave inverter in there. Did a lot of that stuff, but what happened was we ended up buying a house, and when you buy a house, everything else, all those little projects that you had are no longer important, because you have a big project now. It was a fixer-upper. I mean, it doesn't need a lot of work, but we've done a lot of work to it, and there's still a lot more to come. So I apologize to anybody that's watched my my Toyota video that I haven't done an update. I'm actually I'm gonna be selling it. There's no reason for me to hold on to it if I'm not gonna do anything with it, you know. It's just gonna sit there and go to a shit, you know. All the snow is caked up against those cars, you know. I try not to do that, but sometimes you have no choice, you know. I'm trying to move the snow, and it'd be fine if the people that parked in the lot, when they knew it was going to snow, if they grouped the cars together for me, it would make a huge difference. You know, if they all parked together, it'd be perfect. But they never do. believe it or not, there's a guardrail back here, and then I'm pushing the snow over. That's something I noticed with the V-Plow you can do pretty good too, is you can stack the snow real good. I want to get a GoPro to add some angles. It would be nice if I maybe had one on the top of the truck right now, to where you could get a an outside perspective, or even a different shot of the plow. I think would be pretty cool out in the front. I don't know if you watch Moose Man. Moose Man, he is Darth Dooley with a V-Plow on it he just got, and he does some cool shots with a GoPro that I think is pretty cool. That's one thing I noticed with this V-Plow is if you want to use it like a normal straight blade, you can use it that way, it's fine. It's just that I always notice I have to adjust the wings. on each side. I know you can't really see it, but you know, it's always like I'm gonna have to adjust each one individually, which is fine. You know, I know I have to do it. It can be annoying. It would be nice if this plow had a feature to lock it in the straight blade format, so that you could just use it, you know, left, right, straight, whatever you want to do. It would have been nice if they had that feature on this plow, which I'm not sure if any of them do. I've only used this V-plow. All of them have different mounting styles. You know, that's one thing when you're gonna decide to buy a plow, which one you're gonna like best, or, you know, sadly, the choice sometimes made for you. It's all you can afford. You know, I would always look to buy a used plow, but you know, a lot of times they're just so expensive. You know, how can you justify spending that kind of money unless you're going to use it for a business? You know. If you're going to make money with it, you know, then it's going to be a positive investment. But if you're just a homeowner looking to plow, you know, your little driveway, well, then I don't think you're going to need anything spectacular. To be honest with you, you could probably get away with a Snowaway plow, or Snowaway, or however you pronounce it. It probably more than do the job that you're looking for it to do. And if you have a light duty truck, and I say light duty, this would be considered a light duty truck, but I mean, if you had an S10 or something along those lines, then the Snowaway plow is not that bad, because number one, you're getting a light plow. You know, it's really light. And you're like, oh, that's no good. The heavier the plow, the easier it is to scrape with. Well, you're right, you know. The heavier plow, the more scrape power you're gonna get. But that's not the only thing, you know. It depends on the angle of the blade. The angle of the blade to dig underneath the snow, too. You know, it's not just weight. But the Snowaway plow has a nice feature where it's down pressure, and so you know, you have a 300 or you have a 250 pound snow plow hanging off the front of your truck, not killing everything up there when you don't need to kill everything. And then, you know what, when you need that little extra power to push down, you get the down pressure feature, and then boom, you know, now you have a plow that weighs, you know, 500 pounds, and you can really get a good scrape with that. Well, that's a big deal. But it's not all about weight. It's, you can angle the plow certain ways. You know, if you're not digging through, you need more dig. You know, like what happens here is these cars, you know, I can't plow in between the cars, so they'll leave, and then if I don't come here right away, or I can't get a pass through, I gotta wait till nobody's here again. You know, so a lot of times it'll be tomorrow morning when I can actually come back and clean the lot again in between all these cars. And by that time, you had, you know, 10 cars that have tried to park in that spot, and they tried to leave, and they got stuck, and they're spinning their tires, and it's right to ice. And once that happens, you know, it's hard to scrape that ice, but you can angle the plow, you know, left, right, you can try the V feature, whatever works to cut through that. Now, before we had this truck for plowing these lots here, we had it was a 1995 S10 Blazer, and we had a Meyers. It was the Molly board plow. was supposed to be their lightweight plow, and it wasn't light by any means, I'll tell you that. But it was the older school one where you couldn't mount it. It wasn't an easy, 10-minute mount or 5-minute pull-in mount like these plows are now. And believe it or not, that Blazer surprised me over and over again and how well it plowed. It was just short wheelbase. It was a small plow. I think it was a 6.5-foot plow, and it got the job done every time. We ended up getting rid of that and got this. When we got rid of that, it was just rotten. That's one of the problems. You can only replace the brake line so many times. This isn't my truck. This is my company's truck, and we've done quite a bit. Yearly, I feel like we put brake lines on the truck. Yearly, it's crazy. On the Blazer, we did every year. We had to do brake lines. It felt like maybe every other year. We ended up having to do tranny lines multiple times. My recommendation, if it's your personal truck that you're going to be using, you want to get the good stuff. If you're going to do brake lines on the truck, you want to get something that's not going to rust. So if you're going to be doing preventative maintenance, that would be a big one. After the storm, you want to wash the truck. You're out driving around, everything is getting kicked up on the vehicle. It's getting in spots that you wouldn't believe, and that's the death of these vehicles, especially plow vehicles, is if you didn't beat the truck when you're plowing, the death of that vehicle is going to be the salt. The salt, the road grime, whatever they put on the roads, that that liquid stuff they're put on the roads now, I feel like is the worst thing ever for the vehicle. When they put it on the road, it's actually slippery, and then it dries, and then I feel like it puts a slushy layer on the road, and that's slippery as hell too. And sometimes too, when you're looking to get into snow plowing, once you do your friend's house, you do your family members' houses, you got the hang of it now. Well, a lot of times you can find landscapers, and they'll pay you $100 an hour, and you can use your vehicle. I mean, it works out for them better, I think, but you can use your vehicle. You're covered by their insurance, and you can go out and make some money that way too. You don't need to have your own account. A lot of times people say, oh, you got to find the work. Well, you do, but I guess the worst case scenario would be that you jump on somebody else's account and you take care of it for them, and you make money that way. Granted, you're going to have to perform, you're not going to be able to just mess around. But this would be a lot faster if I didn't have to keep re-plowing the same spots that I'm plowing, moving the snow around. And I'm not claiming to know everything either, guys. I mean, all I know is I started plowing the driveway as soon as I could, and I had a tractor, wheel horse. Now I have a John Deere. I actually, you know, people probably laugh at me, my neighbors, because they see me outside plowing with my tractor, you know, and just have fun plowing. That's not to say after a long storm I'm not tired as hell and I don't want to see a plow truck for a while, because that does happen too. Try not to get rid of any spots if I don't have to, but we got to put the snow somewhere. This is about, I'd say 11 inches of snow. I measured it, it was 11 inches of snow in the flattest spot I could find, but it was a little windy out yesterday or last night, and it is a real light snow, so we could have gotten a little more or a little less than that. Then we've had a couple of storms. When I say storms, I mean dustings. It feels like 1 to 3 inches we've had a couple times this week. Or last week we had a couple little storms where there were 1 to 3 inches each storm. And those you can just put anywhere, you know, you do a little bit of snow, but you always got to think. You're always trying to think ahead, especially I am, because I don't have anywhere to put this snow. I can't just push it into, there's only so much I can push. Luckily the town, you saw, I have another video up, they have a loader with a snowblower on it, and luckily the town, they'll come in here and they'll take care of my pile, especially when I put it, you know, over here. My one thumbnail, you see the picture of the snow. I normally pile it over on this side over here, and then they can get in there real good, and they can plow it real, and they can just scoop it up for me, and then it's like we never had any snow here. With it pushed up over in this corner, I'm not sure how. Probably when these cars over here move. You know your truck too. Listen for noises, new noises. You really do beat the drivetrain, no matter how easy you are on the truck when you're snow plowing. And at some point, eventually, you're gonna break. You know, you always try to. You want to do a lot of preventative maintenance. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys with me talking. when these cars over here move, I'll scrape all the snow over there for these spots so that people can pull in farther.